Ready? And good evening. Thank you for joining us here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. We have the game between the Deer Valley Wolverines and the Foothill Falcons. We apologize for the late start. A bit of technical difficulties when we get you underway. The kickoff was returned by the Foothill Falcons, setting them up with 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And Kyle Kearns under center giving the handoff and working his way through the crowd behind the left tackle was the halfback, Jameer Holland, and not much doing for him there.
Yeah, and that's just Griffith Gates getting the ball and doing a good job of running off to the left side. That's what Foothill's going to have to do in order to be successful in this game. Give the ball to their main back, that being Gates, and have them just pound the ball. Ball control. Ball control is what they need at this point in time tonight.
So it brings up a 2nd and 9 from their own 36-yard line as Foothill brings it up. Kearns set and a 3-wide receiver set. From under center, dropping back, Kearns quickly firing to his right and overthrows his intended receiver as he was trying to hook up with Jack Finney.
Kyle Kearns misfiring on that pass there. And he had some troubles last week in the rivalry game to close out the regular season against Amador Valley with 5 interceptions on the night. Sophomore quarterback this year who has led this team, hoping to escape the ghost of last week's pass and move on here, NCS playoff time.
So he gets set 3rd and 9 from his own 36. Kearns dropping back, firing towards his left, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Ray Hudson. And so we see a quick 3 and out on the first possession of the game.
Yeah, and that was his favorite target there, Ray Hudson, that he went to near side on a deep slant. And the pass just a bit out of the reach of Hudson. Went off his fingertips and deflected incomplete. And so Foothill, a 4 and out to start this game. Not what Coach Sweeney wanted.
So we see Parker Bryan back to punt this. Guidry back. It's a back.
Both teams tonight emphasizing, well, throughout the week actually, emphasizing that tonight's game, the most important key to tonight's game was going to be special teams. Both head coach Rich Woods for the Deer Valley Wolverines and head coach Matt Sweeney for the Foothill Falcons stated that in interviews to Pat O'Rourke of BayPreps.com. Special teams is going to be key tonight.
They get set. 10:54 left in the first quarter here on 1st and 10. We get our first look at Simba Webster from under center. Quick handoff going to left side, and it's Kyle McDonald with a run towards the left. Not a lot doing there. Picked up about 3 yards on it.
Yeah, and that's Deer Valley with a running back who you probably wouldn't have recognized as the main starter. They usually have Shane Pooler running the ball, but they said he's fumbled a lot this year, and so they took him out of the lineup, and Kyle McDonald starting in his place. Pretty good run there, 2-yard pickup to start here, their first offensive possession of this game.
So actually a 2-yard gain is set 2nd down and 8. Simba Webster now in the shotgun and the 3-wide receiver set. Taking the snap and handing it off as McDonald again, quickly bursting through the hole, and he pushes up ahead for a 1st down.
Yeah, and just good patience there by McDonald. Started off slow to take the ball and then burst out through the middle and picks up enough yards to move the sticks for the 1st down. Very impressive run there by Kyle McDonald. He's one of the kids, along with the Webster twins, who I used to see at the gym a lot, playing basketball at the In Shape in Antioch off of Lone Tree. So, yeah, these kids are athletes.
Set with a 1st and 10 now. Territory. Quick screen off to the right side. It's connected to his brother, and going out of bounds is Webster, that being Zuzi Webster, and he gets
who Coach Sweeney for Foothill, a young Michael Vick.
And actually, correct myself, an 8-yard gain on 2nd and 2. They hand off to Holland, quickly hitting the backfield. Excuse me, McDonald.
Yeah, and that was Cody Shields in on the tackle for Foothill. He has been at least in the games that I've covered for PlayOn Sports and from Foothill season. He's the guy that really gets this whole defense going. He's the middle linebacker. He's all over the field. And when he starts get going with the tackles and the pressure in the backfield, that only means good things for the Falcons defense. And there he was, wrapping up the ball handler early for a loss of a yard.
Set up on a 3rd and 4 from the 42-yard line. In Deer Valley territory, Simba Webster here. 8:57 remaining on the first quarter as he drops back, quickly firing towards the right side and diving. And did he make the catch? They're going to say yes, he did. Reception in, as it was Dion Pruitt who made the catch.
Dion Pruitt, what a catch there to pick up the first down, diving to his knee on a post pattern. And you got to like Dion Pruitt, who on the year has 22 receptions, tied for the team lead with Lee Ward III, 431 yards and 1 touchdown. Would love to add to that number tonight.
Webster, the 2 wide receiver set here on 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Taking the high snap, quickly hands it off. No, it's a fake. Faked it to McDonald, went towards the right side. Now he's up to the 20 and inside the 20. Good gain on the play.
And there's Simba running the ball. Like I said, been heralded as a young Michael Vick, not only from head coach Matt Sweeney, but other people covering in the Bay Area. They really like his elusiveness. Only a junior. As far as his ground stats so far this year, 85 carries for 706 yards and 8 touchdowns. And he's had a touchdown run in 7 of the 10 games this year for Deer Valley. So look for him to keep running the ball because he will do that. He's a dual-threat quarterback, can run and pass, and does it very successfully for the Wolverines.
Now set on 2nd and 4 from the 23-yard line. He sends a man in motion, taking the shotgun snap, faking the handoff, dropping back, and quickly firing towards the left side, arching it just incomplete as he was trying to connect with Kwaku Badu. Kwaku Badu was a man in motion on that play and went out towards the left side, had it overthrown and complete.
Deer Valley 6-4 on the year. They started off 6-1 and then lost their 3 straight, slumping into the playoffs. 2-3 overall in the Bay Valley Athletic League.
Now set on 3rd and 4 from the 17-yard line, taking a shotgun snap. Webster quickly throwing to his left. It's complete to his receiver on the left side. And seeing that he's able to connect with Lee Ward. And a first down there. Going to be 1st and goal as they mark him just inside the 10-yard line.
And Lee Ward III, like I said, 22 receptions on the year, tied with Dion Pruitt coming into this game, but he has the most yardage out of any receiver on this Deer Valley Wolverine squad, 548 yards, as well as the most receiving touchdowns, 6 touchdowns on the season. He looked for him to be a threat tonight for Simba Webster in the pass game.
And the first threat of the ball game here coming for Deer Valley is Webster giving the handoff, and it's McDonald fighting towards the left side, still on his feet, and pushes up ahead to about the 5-yard line before he's finally brought down.
Yeah, and Griffith Gates getting back there for Foothill. He's their big guy. You know, Griffith Gates, he's definitely the biggest guy on the Foothill squad. You take a look at his numbers, 6 feet and 6'3", 235. He gets back there in a hurry, but you got to love the fact that McDonald kept his legs chugging, even though he was hit early, and still got a couple more yards with his legs. Very determined run, but great defense as well by Foothill.
So 2nd and goal set from the 6-yard line. Webster under the shotgun again, taking the snap and handing it off. Going towards the right side was the back. And it was McDonald again.
McDonald, as I mentioned, starting in replace of Shane Pooler. And Shane Pooler, 1,000-yard back this year. They're kind of benching him for his fumbles. They say he plays better coming off the bench. I think Pooler coming onto the field now, but I was talking to the offensive coordinator for Deer Valley, and he says that Pooler should be getting the same amount of carries as McDonald. We've yet to see Pooler in. I thought Pooler came in, but that was just Simba coming back from the sideline. So no Pooler yet. McDonald's still in the backfield, and right now Simba calling out some audibles and getting his teammates ready.
And it looks like what may have been a false start as a flag coming in before the snap.
Yeah, I believe the far outside lineman or maybe the tight end there on the right side jumping early. Just talking about Simba calling some audibles, trying to get his players ready, and well, that wasn't the case for one of his players down there. So yeah, false start penalty for Deer Valley. And now as I mentioned, McDonald off to the field, or off to the sideline.
So now they get set. It'll be 3rd and goal. Ball spotted at the 11-yard line. As Deer Valley brings it up. They come out with 3 wideouts. Wesser from the shotgun dropping back, feeling some pressure as he rolls to his right, throwing on the run and overthrows McDonald as he's trying to connect there. Now 4th and goal coming up from the 11-yard line.
Great coverage there defensively by Foothill, forcing Simba Webster to have to roll out and try to find a receiver on the right side. And he was looking for McDonald. McDonald maybe making the case for getting pushed a little bit earlier than the ball had gotten there, but just great defense by Foothill, and now it makes for a 4th and goal situation. They had a 1st and goal at the 6, now it's 4th and goal at the 10, and Deer Valley's just going to try to get points on the board. They want to strike first, and they're going to send out their kicker, who on the year has been Christian Quintanilla. He's lining up for a 27-yarder.
And he has it blocked. And fighting for it is the Foothill defense, and they are able to recover the fumble.
And then, once again, that brings me to the point that I mentioned earlier, Joe, about head coach Matt Sweeney for Foothill saying that special teams were going to be huge in tonight's game. And it's his Foothill Falcons that step up in what would have been a chip shot for a field goal. They blocked the field goal. No points for Deer Valley. Everything's back to even, except the momentum, Joe. I think it's swung back into the side of the home team. They're trying to make it a second offensive position score after the first 4 and out. Let's see what they can do here.
As Kearns gets set into 4 wideout set, dropping back and quickly handing it off up the middle, back coming up the center of the field, as it was Griffith Gates.
Just slowly controlling the clock. That's what they need to do, especially when you have a guy like Gates who's so hard to bring down, always rushing for positive yards. Just need to give him the ball as much as possible and keep the ball away. That was one of the things Matt Sweeney was saying in that interview with Bay Preps. He wants to play the best game of keep away that he can from Deer Valley, because when their offense is on the field, they're explosive.
They get set 2nd down and 4 from their own 28, and a quick handoff again. It's to Gates, working towards the right side. Not a lot doing there. Eked out about a yard, setting up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, not a lot doing there for Gates, but on the year, he has been pretty good. His stats so far coming into this game: 128 carries on the year for 683 yards, 7 scores. 3rd most carries in the East Bay Athletic League. He has the 4th most yardage out of any running back, and he's tied for 3rd with his rushing scores.
So they get set 3rd down and 3 from their own 29-yard line. From under center, they pitch it towards the left side. It's Holland with good blocker down the left side. Going towards the 50, down the left sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds finally deep into Deer Valley territory as they spot him at the 38-yard line.
And there you go. And that's how you run a successful Foothill offense. I've seen this last year, Joe, and I'll tell you, you got those runs up the middle with Griffith Gates on the first couple downs. You get yourself in a 3rd down, and then you run it some more. But this time, you change it up with the toss play to the speedier back, Jameer Holland, a junior, and he picks up the yardage. He loves those toss routes. Jameer Holland won't be successful up the middle, but if you give him those toss routes and good blocking ahead, he should always get a 1st down.
So Kearns pitching towards the right side. It's Jameer Holland following his blockers on the 1st down run as he crosses the 35-yard line and is brought down.
And there they go. They run that same play, only this time to the far side of the field. Toss to Jameer Holland, who picks up good gain of yards. Like I said, early down yardage, though, do expect Griffith Gates to get the carry. But right now, Kearns talking things over with head coach Sweeney, and it'll be receiver Ryan Anderson coming onto the field. Cody Shields will come off.
Facing an upcoming 2nd and 7 with 3:20 remaining here in the first quarter as Kearns getting it set. Kearns taking the snap and quickly handing off. It's Holland again towards the left side. Upended as he goes forward, but got a good gain on the play. 3rd down and 2 upcoming.
And there's Holland showing some good speed between the tackles, near side, left side, between the left guard and left tackle. And Holland comes close to the first down, but they'll be a couple yards shy. Talk about Holland and his stats on the ground so far this year. 69 carries for 447 yards and 4 scores. He's also a factor in the receiving game, Joe. 24 catches for 214 yards and 4 touchdowns. So 4 touchdowns both ways. Definitely a versatile back, and we might see him in the pass game tonight.
Kern set from under center, and his quick handoff to Gates. Gets through with seam, down the left side. Stiff arms one man, still on his feet, and brought down inside the 10. Big play for Griffith Gates.
Yeah, Griffith Gates really igniting not only the fans, but definitely his teammates. They are all jumping up and down after that run, and why not? Griffith Gates taking the ball, running up between the left tackle and left guard, and just bulldozing his way. He had some open room in the second level, but then a defender came on looking to make the tackle, and Gates with the stiff arm just giving him the truck stick and trucking on for some more yards. Very impressive run. Now he makes it a 1st and goal situation for his Foothill Falcons.
Set from just outside the 9-yard line. Kearns, 2 backs behind him, a single receiver up to the top of the formation. Pitch outside to Holland, bit of misdirection, follows his blockers towards the end zone. He's in for the score.
Jameer Holland twisting and turning his way into the end zone on a toss play once again. Worked perfectly for Foothill on this drive. 3 tosses, all positive yards, with the third one being a charm, putting 6 on the board for the Falcons. And now here's Nico Caro to come on for the extra point try.
And make it a 7-point lead here with 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. As Caro getting set. After the low snap, Caro able to drill it through, and so it is 7-0 here in the first quarter for the Foothill Falcons.
All right, folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. Joe, I was breaking down some stats going into this game, and Deer Valley hasn't had the most success against East Bay Athletic League teams, especially in the playoffs. They are 0-3 lifetime against East Bay Athletic League teams in the playoffs. All those games on the road. What do you know, Deer Valley on the road here for this game. Since 2004, they're 3-4 overall against East Bay Athletic League teams, but all those 3 wins coming against the same opponent, that being Granada. So you think about that, maybe that doesn't bode well in Deer Valley's favor. What needs to bode well in Deer Valley's favor is their offense this time. They get down inside the red zone, they have got to come away with points.
And Nico Caro getting set to kick this one off here. Susie Webster and Shane Pooler are your deep men back to receive. Webster getting set. And just a little squibber up the middle. Deer Valley collapsing in. And it's picked up by Sturgis, working towards the left side, following his blockers down the left sideline across the 35. Still going across the 50. Has a blocker in front, and he's hit just as he crossed the 35-yard line and brought down. A great start there for Deer Valley.
Sturgis doing a good job of just following his blockers down there and making one heck of a return for his Deer Valley Wolverines. Very impressed with Sturgis' return there. Gets the ball past midfield all the way out to the Foothill 33-yard line. Some great starting field territory for the Deer Valley Wolverines. Frank Sturgis, a 3-year starter on Deer Valley's squad.
So Webster set the shotgun here on 1st and 10. Dropping back and quickly handing off. It's Pooler this time, working towards the right side. Hit hard at the 30-yard line and falls forward. Gain of about 5 on the play.
So now we've seen Shane Pooler enter the game. Like I said, he's a 1,000-yard back for Deer Valley. 144 carries coming into the game with 1,010 yards and 12 touchdowns.
They get set here, 2nd down and 6. Webster from the shotgun from the 29-yard line. Taking the snap, quickly handing off. It's Pooler up the middle again. Not a lot for him there. He's able to fight ahead for a 2-yard gain. Time running down here at the end of the first quarter, down to 49 seconds and counting here. 7-0 your score, Foothill up. And Deer Valley trying to respond after their first drive ended in a blocked field goal. On 3rd down and 4. Webster from the gun dropping back, looking to his left, feeling pressure. Now he's going to tuck it, spins away from one man, still on his feet, getting to the left side, and finally the Foothill defense wraps him up. All told, a yard gain on the play.
Simba Webster so hard to wrap up. I mean, he's seen about 3 Foothill defenders miss, especially that spin move. That's what I'll take away from that run by Simba. Kyle Kern's father nicknaming him the Lion King. I was wondering how I could incorporate that movie with it, and I didn't think simple enough to just call him the Lion King. So I got to give credit to Kyle Kern's dad for giving us that nickname for Simba Webster.
And that puts us at the end of the first quarter with your score 7-0. The home team Foothill up here in the Division I playoffs.
All right, folks, PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter. That's right, we are hip to the social media game, and we'll give you news and information and links to great highlights. You can follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. So keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
And we've seen a good back-and-forth battle so far in the first quarter. As we mentioned, the missed field goal, or excuse me, the block field goal to start it off for Deer Valley on their first possession. And Foothill, after their first possession that ended in a 3-and-out, marched the distance of the field, 80 yards, I should say, for the score. Now set facing a 4th down and 4 from the 27-yard line of Deer Valley. Webster from the shotgun, rolling to his right, looking, feeling pressure. Stops, now fires over the middle, and a great pass, and he's able to complete it to his receiver, and that's Kwaku Badu. And a first down at the 20-yard line.
Simba Webster stepping up on a 4th down and coming up large for his team, moving the chains and picking up the first down. Doing a good job of getting away from the pressure, rolling out to his right side, and then just throwing a dart into his receiver, who made the grab to keep this drive going.
Webster set with a 3-wide out set here on 1st and 10 from the 20. Taking the shotgun snap, heading off to Pooler, who quickly goes towards the outside right and gets up to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Pooler doing a good job there, picking up 6 yards on the carry, running to the right side. Deer Valley looking to punch it in. Their first drive, they got down this deep, had to settle for a field goal try, and then it was blocked by Foothill.
So with a 2nd and 5 from the 15-yard line. 10:52 and counting remaining here in the second quarter. Dropping back and pump faking is Webster. Feeling the pressure. Now he's going to tuck it and run. Across the 10-yard line. Evades one tackler. Then he is hit hard just inside the 5-yard line. But another first down.
Boy, and how was Simba hit hard at the goal line. That was Jameer Holland, defensive back, coming up and laying some wood on Simba Webster. But Webster had a great run before he got hit and came oh so close to scoring a touchdown. Once again, so agile on his feet. He has great feet work. He's like a dancer out there on the field, Joe, and can really get away from tackles with ease.
They're set 1st and goal from the 3. 10 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Webster with the I formation behind him. Sends a man in motion. And gives a handoff to Pooler, following his blockers, pushing forward, diving across the goal line, waiting for the call. And referees are going to say that he was just shy of the goal line. So just inches away from the goal line here.
Yeah, that was a pretty close play. From up here in the booth, it looked like Pooler had gotten in, but he will be just inches shy of punching it in. So 2nd and goal, like I said, from the inch line. We'll see if they can punch it in here on the 2nd try.
Coming up on 9.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Webster set from under center. Quick quarterback keeper dives up the middle. Still no signal from the sidelines. Deer Valley says they have it. And referee signals touchdown. Simba Webster for the goal line dive, able to get it in. And Deer Valley now will have a chance to tie it up with the extra point.
Make that a rushing score in 8 of 11 games now for Simba Webster. All he needed was an inch. His offensive line gave him just that, as it was a close call, but Simba Webster does get in for the score. Evens things up.
Now Christian Quintanilla for the extra point. Had pressure in his face yet again, but he's able to connect. And we are tied at 7 with 9:17 remaining in the first half.
Folks, PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here. And
so
to prove that point even further, I printed out the schedule for Play on Sports, and I have to get to it here, folks, as no table kind of has my notes all over the place. But looking at things going on this week, boy, we covered just about every sport from, you talk about the 10th tomorrow all the way to the 17th next Saturday. We have soccer, boys and girls water polo, girls team tennis, boys and girls cross country, football, field hockey. I mean, we're really covering it all here on PlayOnSports.com. Tonight, North Coast Section football, live from Roger Dabney Memorial Field in Pleasanton, California. The 10-7 matchup in the North Coast Section Division I bracket between the 10-seed Deer Valley Wolverines and the 7-seed Foothill Falcons.
So Holland and Langley will be return men for Foothill. And Jason Roskalik is going to be kicking it off. Roskali's kick is high, heading in the direction of Langley, who picks it up at his own 15-yard line. And quickly coming upfield, working towards the right side now, and is brought down near the 30-yard line. And they spot him at the 29.
And that return started off promising. I don't know if you saw what I saw, Joe, but it seemed like there was going to be a big hole opened up for Langley. But, boy, did it close in a hurry. And Deer Valley with some good coverage on the kickoff. It was a shallow, high kick, and Langley took it and got out to just before the 30-yard line, but a really good job by the Wolverines kickoff unit of swallowing that hole up in a hurry, because I saw what could have been a big hole for Langley to burst through.
It did seem like right around the 20-yard line, he still had a wide-open seam to work with. Kern set here on 1st and 10, taking the snap, handing off to Holland, following his blockers as he works outside and dives across the 30. Short gain on the play.
This time, Foothill dialing up the halfback sweep play for Jameer Holland, which is a play that normally has a pretty good success rate, because anytime you get Holland outside the tackles, that's when he's at his best. But Deer Valley's defense swarming to the ball there and stopping Jameer Holland for only a gain of a yard.
So clock moving under 8 minutes and 40 seconds. 2nd down and 9 from the 30-yard line. Kern set from under center, faking the handoff. Now sets and fires, looking deep over the middle, incomplete, as he was trying to connect with Ray Hudson.
And there's Kyle Kearns. Like I said, sophomore at quarterback. Sometimes those nerves get in the way of your talent. Misfires his senior target. Misfires for his senior target, Ray Hudson there. The all-everything receiver that'll be lining up for the California Golden Bears. Maybe if not next year, in a couple years. Probably redshirt next year. But Kearns forced the issue a lot last week against Amador Valley with those 5 interceptions. You'd really hate to see him force the issue again. I was talking to his parents tonight before the game, and I was telling him, I know he's only a sophomore, so maturity eventually, experience will come into play. But when he doesn't see anything, he has to throw that ball away.
Taking the 3rd down and 9 snap, quickly firing, and whistles came in beforehand. Flags from the sideline, so no play here, and we have a false start. So that's going to knock it back to a 3rd down and 14. from their own 25-yard line.
And that's a shame for the Foothill Falcons. You had what could have been a 3rd and 9, which is still pretty long, and now it's 3rd and 14, even longer. This is going to be tough to pick up, especially with Kearns looking a little bit off the mark tonight.
Kearns taking the snap, dropping back, firing towards the sideline. Hudson turned around late, had a chance but couldn't reel it in. Would have been a first down reception at the 42-yard line.
And I don't know if I can blame that entirely on Kearns that time. I think it was a half-and-half effort there. Kearns doing his job, stepping back and releasing that ball. I think Ray Hudson was a little bit slow coming back. It was a comeback route for Ray Hudson, and I don't think he was expecting the ball to have that much zip and be there as accurate as it was, and he drops the pass.
Here's a short punt. Sturgis not going to be able to get to it. Instead, it's the up man coming back across the 50-yard line. And that was James Guidry, who brought it across midfield and got to the 48.
So now Deer Valley's offense will come back out onto the field after scoring on their last possession. Quarterback keeper by Simba Webster was the equalizer. So far in their first 2 drives tonight, they've gotten the ball inside the Falcon red zone, so head coach Matt Sweeney has got to worry a little bit about the strength of his team, which has been his defense all throughout the season. As Deer Valley, so far through this first half, moving the ball with ease against his defense.
Set with a 1st and 10 from the Foothill 48-yard line. 7:46 remaining here, and Webster with the quick snap throwing to the right side. It's his receiver, Lee Ward, who makes a catch.
And Deer Valley fumbles the ball. Lee Ward on a receiver screen. Hit pretty hard by the Falcons defense, coughs it up. And so now Foothill will come back out onto the field. So maybe that might be the sign of good things, and maybe a little bit of momentum swing for the home team Falcons.
Kearns set on 1st and 10 from his own 40-yard line after the turnover. Dropping back quickly, pitching the right side. It's Holland, has some blockers in front of him. Gets hit at the 40, still on his feet, and finally tripped up from behind. They'll spot him at the 43.
Once again, the patience of Jameer Holland there on that toss. Near side towards us, right side toss, and just waiting for his blockers. Seemed to look like he was going to be tackled behind the original line of scrimmage, but stopped and took that second effort and charged forward and ends up picking 3 yards, picking up 3 yards on that run. So good second effort there by Jameer Holland to turn that from nothing into something.
Now Kearns set with a 2nd down and 7 from his own 43-yard line. Clock under 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. Kearns from under center, quick handoff, and Griffiths working his way upfield, pushes up, and he is just about a yard shy of the first down marker. It's Griffith Gates pushing up ahead and getting his team very close there. So 3rd down and 1, set from their own 49-yard line. Clock moving under 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. From under center, they hand it off to Gates again. Gets a first down and a lot more as he crossed the 45-yard line.
Griffith Gates, last 2 plays, really doing a good job of picking up some good yards. And he is the constant on this Falcons offense. He's the guy that can take time off the clock, pick up positive yards. They give it to him twice. Once got close to the first down, second time did pick up the first down, and now Foothill.
That's actually Deer Valley took the timeout here.
Yeah. I was going to say Foothill forcing Deer Valley into taking a timeout, which reminds me, folks, with 5 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the first half. Stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, where we will select, where we will talk about some of our favorite plays and the plays that obviously led to scores for both teams. We'll wrap up all the action from the first half of play. That's coming up at halftime here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
And still plenty of time here, 6 minutes remaining, just a tick under actually, with a 7-7 ball game. And we've seen good running effort from both of these teams. You've seen Simba Webster able to create with his feet. You've also seen the running game of Foothill, so really a ground-dominated game so far.
Yeah, Simba Webster, he has been every bit as advertised tonight, really hasn't missed on any passes, and has ran the ball well, really controlled his offense. And you know, that turnover wasn't his fault. The blocked field goal, not his fault. So I'm pretty impressed with Simba Webster tonight, and we're not even through the first half yet.
Set from the 43-yard line on 1st and 10. Kern set from under center. Gives a quick handoff to Gates again. He continues to churn his way through the defense as he fought up ahead for a 5-yard gain.
Big Griff taking about 3 Deer Valley Wolverines with him on that run. Five-yard pickup, picks up half the yards necessary for a first down.
Set with the 2nd and 5 from the Deer Valley 38-yard line. Clock under 5.5 minutes left to play now. Here in the second quarter. As Kern's faking the handoff, pump fakes under pressure, and he's brought down for a sack. Brought down in the backfield by Flanoid McCreary.
Good job of creating pressure there by Deer Valley. Just bulldozing past the offensive line of Foothill. Wrecking havoc and getting the sack on the quarterback, Kyle Kearns.
And so it started as a 2nd and 5. Now turns into a 3rd down and 11. So see what Kearns can do here. 2 receivers set to the bottom of the formation. Now he sends a man in motion. It's Langley faking the handoff to Gates. And now quickly dumps a screen off. And working up the middle, it's the receiver, Tommy Gamble. And Gamble got just across a 40-yard line, so not enough here. And we see what kind of decision Foothill makes.
Well, 4th and long from the 40. You'd be looking at about a 57-yard field goal. But then again, you're really asking Ray Hudson to have to put down a perfect punt to down it inside the 20 without getting it into the end zone for an automatic touchback. So this is the right call here. Foothill going to try to see how their offense could do on 4th downs tonight.
Dropping back on the shotgun snap, Kearns quickly fires. It's complete to Hudson. 1st down and more as he crossed the 30-yard line. Good play called there for Foothill.
Very good play call, Joe. That's a high percentage pass play for the Foothill Falcons. Just getting their best receiver, Ray Hudson, on a quick inside slant route, and let him body up other defenders out there, and he was wide open.
They get set 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Kearns from under center, dropping back and clicking in the handoff. It's Jameer Holland working up the middle. Gets up to about the 25-yard line, 4-yard gain on the play.
We're up here in the booth with the coaches and talk about one of Deer Valley's assistant coaches, that being Jeff Robinson, not really too happy with the fact that Foothill converted on that 4th down. And the defense comes back and doesn't let Foothill get anything really on that run. 3-yard pickup there, but
as Kearns gets set here, it'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 25-yard line. Taking the snap, Hearns gives it to Gates. Following his blockers, upended as he got near the 20-yard line when he's finally brought down.
Gates is chugging along in this first half. Another 3-yard pickup, and now makes for 3rd and 4. And this is a down and distance where you have so many options on what you want to run, Joe. And I would think maybe a toss play here with Jameer Holland. It was successful in their second drive in getting a touchdown.
As Kearns quickly hands it off to Gates, following Holland's block, gets inside the 20, and he is going to be spotted just shy of that 1st down marker.
Colin Dalporto, who was hurt last week against Amador Valley, back in the lineup on the offensive line for Foothill and playing that right guard position, really opened up a big hole there for Griffith Gates to run through. Gates, I thought he had enough for the first down, but his knee must have just hit the turf. He was kind of stumbling forward for that first down, trying to reach for it, but his knee must have hit the turf just before he could get the ball past the yard needed for the first down. So it's going to be 4th and 1, 4th and inches.
The minute 45 remaining on the clock and counting here in the first half. They quickly hand it off, and Gates is going to get the first down a lot more as he turns inside the 15-yard line.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give it to Gates, left side this time. And once again, offensive line doing a good job of opening up holes for their fullback. On there on the left side of things is Perry Cheney, the left guard, and left tackle Jay McGee. Great job of allowing Griffith Gates to easily pick up the first down and then some.
So with the 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, clock moving under a minute 20 now as they quickly pitch it to Jameer Holland towards the right side. Shoulders down into a defender and is brought down, and they will spot him just inside the 10-yard line.
Jameer Holland getting a toss play like we said. He's been so successful with those tonight, Joe. Right side, near side this time, and finishes it off at the end there, taking the would-be tackler, Jeff Sturgis, down with him.
Now set with 2nd down and 5. Curtin from under center quickly hands it off to Gates. Breaks through some arm tackles, pushing forward towards the end zone, and he is in for the score. 9-yard touchdown run for Griffith Gates.
So now you've got each back with a touchdown. This is kind of the game that Matt Sweeney wants to play. He wants his running backs to be involved in this game, Joe. And Griffith Gates might have been the star of that whole drive, that whole possession. Really, not only did he pick up big chunks of yards, but picked up first downs when needed, and then ultimately closes and seals the deal with that touchdown run.
And here's a kick. It's up, and it's good. We are tied at 14 with 45 seconds. Foothill taking a 14-7 lead with 45 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Joe, one thing I noticed when I was walking back up after getting some tidbits from the offensive coordinator for Deer Valley is that the Cal players are here in attendance watching the game. They're the 2 seed in this North Coast Section Division I bracket. They got a first-round bye as well as the number 1 seed, De La Salle. And they're just anxiously and eagerly awaiting who they'll be playing next. They will get the winner of this game tonight, whether it be Foothill or Deer Valley, and it'll be at their comfortable digs at California High School in San Ramon. Cal, who's led by their great running back, Karis Johnson. And boy, and how has he been special this year. Karis Johnson with 1,228 yards. One of the premier running backs, not only in the East Bay, but in the Bay Area and in the state of California. And so whoever wins tonight is really going to have a handful trying to stop Karis Johnson on the ground next week.
Such a hit in the extra point. Carroll's set to kick it off as Pooler and Webster back deep to receive. And gets off a high one. Still going to go to the up man, so they avoid the return game once again. And falling forward was the returner. That was James Guidry again.
Good call there by Matt Sweeney with the high pooch kick because, like I said, he was saying in that interview how special teams is going to be huge and how really these guys from Deer Valley, they're so athletically gifted that once they get into open space, they're deadly with the ball. We saw the big return from Frank Sturgis earlier in this game, which helped Deer Valley get in position to score for their first time tonight. And head coach Sweeney didn't want to deal with that this time around. He said, I'm not even going to put anywhere near the returners. I'll gladly give it to the secondary men out there on the kickoff return, the second level guys, and it paid off for him. Not a good return there for Deer Valley, a very short return. They'll have the ball at their own 33.
As Simba Webster set on 1st and 10. And whistle coming in. And waiting to see the signal here. And delay a game is a call against Simba Webster
and that's
the
just
Deer
a
Valley
penalty
Wolverines.
You cannot have. You got to have some kind of urgency, especially with only 40 seconds left before half. You got to get out there, know what you're doing, and boom. And what was already going to be a long field with that amount of time before halftime if Deer Valley wanted to score from the pooch kick, credit the pooch kick, now gets even longer with that delay of game penalty. So now you're looking at a 1st and 15, ball backed up all the way to their own 28.
And Webster setting the shotgun here. They bunch 3 receivers at the top of the formation as Webster dropping back, stepping up and firing towards the left side. A jumping catch is made by his receiver, still on his feet, and finally brought down was his brother, Zuzi Webster, at the 35-yard line.
Simba to Zuzi. And offense coordinator, they're going to run hurry up offense, so I'll let you get to it. But offense coordinator is saying how sometimes at times he feels like Simba and Zuzi are telepathic with each other, which is, common case with twins.
And
I've played basketball with the 2 brothers at the In Shape on Lone Tree and seen them on teams together, and they were very telepathic on the basketball court. The one thing I never saw in the basketball games was really them completing each other's sentences. I wonder if they do that at practice, and now I'm getting the coach there agreeing with me. He's nodding his head there. Jeff Robinson Sr. saying, oh, yeah, they do that. And how I can tell from the 2 is Simba has kind of the more shaved-off look, a more fade route, where his brother Zuzi, you can't tell because he has a helmet on, Joe, but I'm telling you, he looks like a young Jerry Rice with the flat top. It's so vintage 80s Jerry Rice. And Zuzi's a jokester. He likes to tell a lot of jokes. Simba's, a little bit more on the quiet reserve side. Both of them good leaders for being juniors on this squad, and they're looking to come back out on the field with very little time and try to get a score here. Ball all the way down into Foothill territory at the Foothill 35.
Set on 1st and 10, Simba taking the shotgun snap, working to his left as he feels the pressure, able to evade one man, and still on his feet. Webster looking downfield. Now he fires, looking towards the corner of the end zone, has a man, and throws it out of bounds, incomplete. He had Sturgis in the corner of the end zone, but as he was running, couldn't set his feet and get that pass completed.
They say football's a game of inches, and that was the case right there, Joe. Just not enough end zone to work with there on the right side. Sturgis caught the ball just to the right of the end zone for an incomplete pass, but just looking at Simba's athleticism to even get away from the pressure once again, should have been sacked, but just to create space and keep that play going, really something to note. Head coach Matt Sweeney saying he hasn't played a quarterback like this since playing another quarterback from the BVAL earlier this year when the Foothill Falcons took on the Freedom Falcons and they had to go against Dante Mays.
So now set with a 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Walker dropping back with time. Now firing towards the middle, incomplete as he was trying to connect with his intended receiver, Dion Pruitt. Clock stopped with 8 seconds now remaining here in the first half.
Fantastic job there by Cody Shields. I take it that they are running a prevent with Shields being kind of the quarterback spy because he stayed at home, really did a good job, didn't get faked out by any of the leg movements or juke moves that Simba was putting on while looking for a receiver. Stayed at home and was right there when Simba threw the ball to jump up, kind of distract the pass, if you will, and that's what created an incomplete ball there from Simba. Really great job defensively by Cody Shields from the Foothill Falcons.
Now a 3rd down and 10 snap. Webster feeling a bit of pressure, firing towards the right side. Jumping catch is reeled in by Zuzi Webster. So clock stopped temporarily as they move the chains forward.
And I believe Deer Valley still had a timeout left, or they're going to have to call it real quick once that ball gets put down. They have a second left. Once that ball, and so the refs are going to give them the timeout, their last timeout here in the first half. And so with 1 second left, you have one last time to get it in the end zone. Once again, great pickup from the twin brothers there. It's Simba to Zuzi on the first down pickup. Simba just putting a ball up there, and pass kind of reminiscent of the Giants catch that helped them get a score in their Super Bowl against the Patriots the first time they met in Super Bowl, 43, I believe, in Arizona when that receiver made the catch up against his helmet there on just a play where Eli Manning just kind of lofted it up, just threw a ball up there. He did the same thing there, and his brother Zuzi goes up, sure hands the ball. He kind of bobbled it on his way down, but really corralled it before he hit the turf. Great catch there by Zuzi Webster. And so the twin brothers keeping this drive and this possible chance for a score alive. They're not going to go for a touchdown, oddly enough, with the second left. They're just going to opt for a field goal, are the Deer Valley Wolverines.
And Quintanilla set to go for the field goal attempt here. Here's a snap, hold is down, kick is up, under pressure again. Quintanilla gets it up, and he drills it to end the first half. 14-10, Foothill leads over Deer Valley here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. We invite you to join us for our halftime show. That'll be coming up in just a few moments. Again, your score, Foothill 14, Deer Valley 10, here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show, coming to you from Pleasanton, California. Joe Life alongside Michael Smith. Our halftime score is the Foothill Falcons leading over the Deer Valley Wolverines by a score of 14-10. And Michael Smith, we saw a lot of good running action there between those two teams. Obviously saw the ground attack of the two running backs for Foothill, but you also saw the quarterback and Simba Webster for the Deer Valley, and really just an impressive display by both sides so far.
Yeah, Simba Webster with about 700 yards on the ground coming into this game on the season, and really did a good job of keeping plays open and going with his legs at the quarterback position, rolling out from pressure, and like I said, just creating things. As far as Foothill, I've seen this before, and once again, I'm just as impressed as I've been every time I see it. When they run the ball, good things usually happen, and they have their two guys with Foothill. Folks, the band very loud, just kind of disrupted me a little bit, but they have their two backs. You have your ground it, pound it guy with Griffith Gates, who will take about 4 or 5 defenders with you, and then you have your speedy, flashy back in Jameer Holland, and both backs good for a score tonight to give Foothill 14 points on the board. The thing that's going to stick out in my mind about the first half was that last play just before the first half ended, Joe, with Deer Valley getting the deep pass play, the play before, from Webster to Webster, from Simba to his twin brother Zuzi, and they stopped the clock with the second left. And, I thought they were going to for sure use that second to go towards the end zone for a touchdown. Instead, they just go for the sure 3 points, which really wasn't even, for me, I was thinking, I don't know why you guys are doing this. I mean, you've already had a field goal blocked earlier in this game on their first offensive possession. However, they do get the field goal 14-10, but, I think if this game stays where it's at and what we saw in the first half, that might be the play of the game, because I really thought that, heck, you go for it, you tie this game up at halftime. If you miss it, well, you deferred the kickoff and you're going to get the ball to start the second half anyway, so then you have that chance to equalize it. I guess they just wanted to make sure they had some points on the board, being that they're going to get the ball back, and in that way, if they, now they can take the lead. But I just really would have thought that they were going to use that second to get the touchdown. They do get the field goal. They do get points, so it is successful for the Wolverines. But I just wonder what would have happened if they would have tried to go for the touchdown there.
Yeah, I think the receiving the kick in the second half did kind of color their opinion on how to attack that situation. I mean, you've seen them move the ball pretty well so far in the first half. They've been moving up and down the field pretty decently. Obviously, the fumble was an issue for them. They had that block field goal, but their offense hasn't had a lot of trouble. It seems like Simba Webster's been able to create. I think maybe receiving the ball, they thought to themselves, as you said, you get the points, you get yourself in position, and now that you get the ball back to start the second half, maybe you give yourself a command of the game, give yourself a 3-point lead to get yourself started in the second half and see if you can shift the momentum into your side.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to credit Simba, for really playing mistake-free football there in that first half. No turnovers for him. There was a fumble, but that was after the pass was already completed and yards after the catch had already been made. And then, right at the first down marker is when the fumble occurred on Lee Ward's catch. But really both teams playing good mistake-free football. The only mistakes have been penalties. But they've gotten past those. There hasn't been a lot. I believe there's 3 penalties altogether in the game. We've had a delay of game, a couple false starts. Here comes Foothill back onto the field, and they're pumped up in front of their home fans, and they know that this could be their last home game if things play out the way that they should against higher seeds. This could be their last game here at home. So for these seniors, they really want to put on a show. The whole team really, they want to give the fans something to cheer on about over the weekend and throughout the week, heading into, if they go on to win tonight, a second round road contest not too far away in San Ramon, playing a very familiar foe and another East Bay Athletic League opponent, that being the California Grizzlies, which I mentioned a handful of their players are here watching this game.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
You know, it's interesting. You also see the two quarterbacks. We talk about the running game. Both quarterbacks, when they needed it, were able to complete crucial passes. You saw Kearns on a third down situation, third down and long, able to complete to his tight end. You also saw, as you mentioned, the play, Webster to Webster, that set up that field goal. So despite what has been a run-heavy game, you've seen some very clutch passing by these two quarterbacks so far.
Yeah, and especially I'm really happy with Kearns for Foothill because this is a guy who's a sophomore this year, has been asked to be a starter. You know, as an underclassman, that is a pretty hard task. And not only has he guided his team to the playoffs, but in his mission, in his quest towards a playoff run, he's thrown a lot of interceptions. And actually, he's thrown the most interceptions out of any quarterback in the league. You talk about the 5-interception game he had just a week ago against his rivals. Any kid could really go south after a performance like that and really have his nerves rattled. I think tonight he's done a good job of trying to just find what's there. Yeah, he's misfired on a couple of passes, but for the most part, he's looked good. And, of course, Simba has really, like I said, thrown the ball accurately. And whenever you can run and throw, that's going to help you as well. So both quarterbacks looking good. We're going to see what the second half has in front of us.
As Caro, who's been avoiding kicking deep, now actually is going to take a shot downfield, and it's going to be Puller who takes it from his own 15-yard line, going east to west, but getting some good blockers down the sideline across the 30, has some men in front of him through midfield, and finally hit and brought down inside the 40-yard line. So you saw Foothill avoiding kicking it deep, and they got bit right there on that play.
And hopefully that's the last time they put themselves in a situation to get bit. They've been bit now twice in this ball game with big returns from Deer Valley that have gotten the ball past midfield and into Falcon territory. Remember, Frank Sturgis had that huge return in the first half, and now it's Shane Pooler to start the second half with a really good return. And now Deer Valley looking to build on that return, like you said, hopefully punch it in and take the 3-point lead.
As they get set here, 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. And Simba Webster in the shotgun with two backs complimenting him. Now he sends McDonald in motion, faking the handoff to Fuller, rolling away from the pressure, gets away, fires it down the middle, and this ball's intercepted by Foothill as it was picked off by Trevor Mays, a defensive back deep near the 10-yard line. He's brought down near the 12.
And so the first mistake out of both quarterbacks goes to Simba Webster. Did a great job of getting past a would-be defender for the sack, rolling out to his right, and then just launches up a ball that was in the area but hung around in the air too long. And Foothill safety Trevor Mays doing a good job of just running to the ball and making the easy pick. Trevor Mays had an interception to the house last week against Amador Valley. Continues his interception game streak now. 2 games in a row with a pick.
And a timeout is taken by Foothill here. So Foothill obviously saw something they needed to talk over here. A surprising point in the game to burn a timeout here. 11:36 remaining here in the third quarter.
Like I said, talking about Trevor Mays' interception last week against a crosstown rival Amador Valley Dons. An 82-yard interception return to the house, pick 6. This is a guy who's been known as a ball hawk at least for the past 2 years because, like I said, I covered these guys back before I was affiliated with PlayOn when Jeff Kurtz had his own broadcasting company, Kurtz Broadcasting Company, KBC Sports. We covered all of Foothill's season last year, and Trevor Mays had a couple of interceptions last year on the season. He's a really good ball hawk, if you will. Has a knack for finding that ball, especially on passes that hang up in the air too long. He will get under him, make the interception, just as he did on that previous play.
So Kern set 1st and 10 from his own 12-yard line. From under center, faking the handoff, now setting his feet, firing towards the right side, and it's complete to Hudson, working up towards the 30-yard line, and brought down a first down there.
And this time Kearns and his senior receiver Hudson on the mark with each other, seeing each other good there. We were talking about Hudson, how he was a little bit late on one of those out/comeback routes in the first half. Didn't pick up the ball in time. This time, Kearns gets it out in a hurry. Hudson quick to react. First down for the Falcons.
And set from their own 29-yard line. Kearns from under center. Faking the handoff. Might be a broken play. Indeed it is. Kearns going to keep it himself. Able to turn it into maybe half a yard when it's all said and done. But something was amiss in the backfield there.
Yeah, it looked like maybe there was a snap issue there. Kearns maybe didn't get the snap the way he normally gets it from his center. Whatever the case, it ended up being a fake. It looked like it should have went to one of the running backs, either Gates or Holland. The ball did not come out of Kearns' hands, and instead he had to make something out of nothing. He takes it himself and just gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Kearns set on a 2nd and a long 9, and he hands it off to Gates. Good hold to the right side and bowls over another defender as he gets himself a 7-yard pickup.
Griffith Gates just lowering that left shoulder and taking a defender down with a powerful boom there. And that's what you need to do if you're Foothill. You have a 7-point lead. Just run out some clock, especially Griffith Gates, always going forward. It's amazing to watch this guy run the ball.
10:40 and counting remaining here in the third quarter as Kearns set from under center. And giving the handoff to Gates yet again, pushing behind his blocker and fighting forward once again. Griffith Gates just dominating on the ground so far as he got up to the 45-yard line and another first down.
And that's a great word to use there, Joe, dominating. I mean, he really is having his way tonight with this Wolverines defense. And you see that the more that Gates gets going, the louder the cheerleaders get, the louder the fans get, and the more animated the teammates on the bench get, on the sidelines there. So, I mean, Griffith Gates, he's a big spark plug for this Falcons squad and picks up the first down on that previous play.
As they're set from their own 45-yard line, Kearns from under center. Now they hand it off, working towards the left side of his back, and nowhere to go was Isaiah Langley.
Yeah, this time they put Isaiah Langley in a wing-back set, or receiver coming across in motion, taking the fly sweep handoff towards the far side of the field, and Isaiah Langley really couldn't go anywhere. Deer Valley doing a great job defensively at reading that run all the way the whole time, had someone move across with him as he was going in motion, and reacted, got in the backfield in a hurry, and tackled him for a loss of a yard.
So set with 2nd down and a long 10. Kearns set from his own 44-yard line. Taking the snap, he fakes a handoff to Holland. Now with time, firing towards the right side, looking for his man, and what a catch made by Jack Finney as he gets a first down inside the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and an unusual route for the Foothill Falcons with Jack Finney. Usually he's known for one thing and one thing only, and that's those tight end seam routes. Instead, this time they kind of send him on a wheel route towards the outside, and he just goes up with those hands and snags it in the air. What a great sure-handed catch by the senior tight end Finney there.
And it sets up 1st and 10. Ball spotted on the 34-yard line. Kearns quickly handing off. It's Gates again now, fighting through an arm tackles. He crossed the 30-yard line, got about a 4-yard gain. Make that 5.
Griffith Gates just twisting and turning away from tacklers. Once again, another 4 or 5 yards picked up on that run, and time just ticking away here in this third quarter.
You see the way they attack it, through the middle, pound it, and then they work something the outside or get a pass. And Deer Valley not able to respond here thus far. 8:36 remains in the third quarter. It's a 2nd and 5 from the 30. They hand off to Gates again, fighting through tacklers again, and they're going to spot him very close to that first down marker when he's finally down.
And what this is looking pretty close to, Joe, is almost like in the college game when you have, a team from the Pac-12 taking on a team from the SEC. I mean, the East Bay Athletic League is the class of the Bay Area, or at least the East Bay as far as I'm concerned, in conferences. And it's just a different type of ball. And, the BVAL, they like to put up some points, and right now the defense just not being able to handle the run game of Foothill.
And 3rd down and 1, Griffith Gates gets it, plus a lot more, finally brought down inside the 20-yard line. They'll spot him at the 18.
I mean, they have a lot of talented playmakers, don't get me wrong, but right now defensively they're really struggling with tackling a big guy such as Griffith Gates, and, just the off balance of plays. They'll run these Gates up the middle, and then out of nowhere they'll put a Holland sweep in with Foothill, or they'll throw a deep ball for either Hudson or Finney, really catching the Wolverines off guard. And credit to Foothill.
They get set 1st and 10 from the Deer Valley 19. Kearns hands off to Holland, immediately sniffed out and brought down for a loss, as it was Masaki Afu with his stop.
Masaki Afu making the tackle. 6'3", 275-pound junior. All he does is play defense.
And that That was a big stop there, and finally we see a response out of the Deer Valley defense. A 1-yard loss on the play. It sets up a 2nd down and 11 from the 20-yard line of Deer Valley. 7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter as Kearns faking the handoff, sets, fires to the right, overthrows intended receiver Finney. Crowd wanted a flag, but I don't think that ball was catchable.
Yeah, it looked like Finney might have got grabbed a little bit by the defender there on the play, but the defender was quick to put up his hand saying, I didn't do nothing, and no call there.
So it sets up 3rd down and 11 from the 20-yard line. Clock stopped with 6:56 remaining here in the third quarter. Kearns with 3 wide receivers, dropping back, looking to his left. It fires it, and dropping it was his intended receiver as he was trying to connect with Ray Hudson again.
Ray Hudson had it right there in the breadbasket, right at his numbers. The pass maybe a bit behind him as he was coming across on the slant, and the ball was thrown maybe just a little bit to his outside shoulder, but should have had the catch, and he drops it. And so now you're looking at a 4th down and long situation. Field goal try would be a 37-yard attempt. You have the lead, so, maybe I guess they're not showing confidence here in Carroll. They're going to try to go for it.
As Kearns will be set from the shotgun. Dropping back here on 4th down, looking towards the right, firing towards the corner, in and out the hands of Hudson. And the turnover on downs. So a drive that showed so much promise, but then you saw just that one big stop on the run up the middle, and suddenly it just took the wind out of the sails of that offensive Foothill.
Bend, don't break mentality there for Deer Valley. They'll give up the little runs, all the way to the red zone, but then once Foothill got in the red zone, they were very quiet. Deer Valley's defense silencing them.
And Simba Webster set now on offense. And a chance to shake off that turnover. As Webster set from the shotgun and faking the handoff, rolling to his right. He's going to fire. And he has an incomplete pass as he was trying to connect with his headed receiver, Lee Ward.
Ward doing a good job of trying to sell the catch there. But unfortunately, the ball did hit the turf. Despite the efforts of Lee Ward to try to make the catch, now he's off on the sidelines, helmet off. Hopefully he's okay.
So it's 2nd and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 6:40 remaining here in the third quarter. Webster again from the shotgun. Sending Sturgis in motion, now taking the snap, and they quickly hand it off. And Pooler working his way upfield and getting about 8 yards on the play.
Shane Pooler with good initial burst and some good footwork there. Picks up 8 yards and makes it a 3rd and very manageable. 3rd and 2 now for the Deer Valley Wolverines.
As they're set from their own 29-yard line. Clock approaching 6 minutes left to play in the third quarter. And a 4 wide receiver set here on 3rd and 2.
I'd expect another run, though, even though they have 4 receivers out there.
Webster from the shotgun indeed does hand it off to Pooler, working through the middle, pushing defenders forward. He gets a 1st down, plus about 3 more on the play.
Great play call there. That's what you do. You spread the Foothill defense out. You put 4 receivers out there. But, 32 yards to pick up. Pooler, a pretty good back. Like I said, 1,000-yard back on the season. Let him finish the job. He got the 8 yards to get you into a 3rd and short position. Let him get the 1st down, and he did just that, getting up the middle and picking up the 1st down and just a little bit more after.
That's set from the 33 again, and 4 wide receiver set. Webster taking the snap, and a delayed handoff. And Pooler stayed on his feet. Looked like he went down, but he was able to get a hand down on the ground. He goes out to the right side and picks up maybe a yard on the play. Definitely not much there.
Good balance there by Pooler, as you mentioned. Almost went down to the ground, but just put his hand down there. Still kept some good balance and was able to continue along for a gain of just a couple of yards there on that play. It'll be 2nd and 7. Talk about Pooler. He's had no game this season with less than 10 rush attempts.
Like I said here, 2nd and 7 with coming up on 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Webster dropping back with time, firing deep towards the left side, looking for Sturgis, and overthrown, incomplete. Good coverage by Isaiah Langley there.
What a play there by Isaiah Langley. I mean, I think that ball might have been caught if it wasn't for Langley just reaching out his arm there at the last minute to deflect the ball away from the would-be target there, which I believe was Frank Sturgis. And, you know, Isaiah Langley just getting there in the nick of time. Great defensive play by the sophomore defensive back.
And set with 3rd down and 7 from the 35-yard line. Clock stopped with 4:57 remaining here in the third quarter.
And Langley right up on the receiver here near side towards the bottom of your screen.
As they set Sturgis in motion and dropping back as Webster in the shotgun snap. Looking deep towards the right side. Has a man. That ball is tipped and incomplete. Just in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Lee Ward. He saw Ward have it for a second, have it tipped away. Then both players fought for it. And I think Ward actually was able to prevent the interception.
Well, there was a lot of fighting throughout that whole play as far as fighting for position. They were both jostling with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pass interference call, which is the case.
Yeah, they did have the flag there at the 30-yard line as the crowd was voicing their displeasure. And so a 15-yard penalty and a first down here.
Despite the pushing and shoving between the two, I thought both did a great job down the field. Good coverage for Foothill, and really a good job by who was it? Was that McDonald out there? Or Lee Ward, I'm sorry, for coming back to Webster's pass to try to catch the ball. And Lee Ward drawing the pass interference call, and the Wolverines will take the extra yardage all the way out to the 50.
So 4:48 remaining in the third quarter. It's a 1st and 10. As you mentioned, ball at the 50-yard line. Webster dropping back with a shotgun. Quick fire over the middle. It's complete. It's his brother Webster Zuzi down the sideline in for the score. A 50-yard touchdown catch. And Deer Valley now with a 2-point lead. Extra point upcoming.
And there you go. Twin brother to twin brother. Simba to Zuzi. Just something about the kind of chemistry that they have. You can't teach that. And once Zuzi made the catch, you knew he was going to be gone. That's what head coach Sweeney was talking about in the interview with BayPreps.com coming into this game. Once
there's Quintanilla with the extra point. It's up and it's good. So now a 3-point lead here for Deer Valley with 4:39 remaining in the third quarter.
And once one of these talented athletes, whether it be Simba himself at the quarterback position or any of the running backs, receivers, get past that second level of defense for Foothill, then they're going to take it to the house just because Foothill can't match up with their team speed. And so that's the thing. You got to make sure for the cornerbacks, you cannot get burnt. You have to allow yourself to be in coverage. And for Deer Valley now with that score going up by 3, 17-14, it's their first lead of the game, which comes here with just 4 minutes and 39 seconds left in the third quarter. So Deer Valley with their first lead of the game. Can they hang on to it? That will be the question. But just some really good play calling there by the Deer Valley offensive coordinator, mixing in some good runs by Shane Pooler. Ultimately, the play of that drive will definitely be the pass interference that Lee Ward was able to draw against the Foothill Falcons. That gave the Deer Valley offense another chance, another breath at life, if you will, in their offensive possession. And then you got to love the play right after, the immediate play after. They go with another deep ball, this time from Simba to his twin brother Zuzi, who makes the catch and puts it into the end zone to give the Wolverines their first lead of the night.
That's how you see Roscoe set to kick it away. Holland and Langley, your deep man to receive, and they fire in the direction in between both of them. It's picked up by Holland at the 10-yard line, quickly coming upfield and pushing up ahead across the 30-yard line. He is finally brought down near the 35.
For Zuzi Webster now, he has had at least one receiving touchdown in 5 of 11 games this year, counting the 10 regular season games and now this game here in the playoffs.
So set 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Foothill, as you mentioned, trailing for the first time in this ball game. 4:32 remaining in the third quarter here as they get set. Kearns will be under center with 3 wideouts. Dropping back. Kearns quickly firing over the middle. It's complete to Finney. Has some room to run. Hit from behind and bounces off another defender. Fumbles the ball at the end of the play, but it is dove on by a teammate. And wait to see if they knocked him down or not, but Hudson was able to stop a flag back deep behind the 30-yard line. We'll see what that's about. And you're going to wave it all off with a holding. Will send it all back. So what was a great play and a great momentum builder for Foothill, waved off by the penalty.
Very depressing. You get, you give up the lead, and now you're in a position where you're going to need a good offensive drive, which had to start from relatively deep because there wasn't a lot of room to roam on the return. And then they pick up a huge chunk of yards on just the first play by itself, sending Jack Finney across the middle of the field. He had wide open room. Kearns hit him. He gets past midfield into Deer Valley territory, and it's all for naught after a holding penalty. Will bring the ball back. Very unfortunate for the Foothill Falcons.
Now first at a very long Kearns set from under center. Taking the snap, dropping back, and quickly flying to the right side. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Boy, a situation where Deer Valley could have really swung the momentum their way, but couldn't get their hands on the tip ball.
And Simba Webster, who's out there playing some defense right now for the Deer Valley Wolverines, knew that he had a chance at picking that ball off. Very excited there was Simba that his defense came so close to getting the interception.
I think Hudson might have jammed a finger. He's getting checked out on the sideline, so out for this play. 2nd and 26. And Kearns faking the handoff, turn around quickly, firing. It's complete to Finney from the 30-yard line. He gets hit in the knees and brought down around the 33.
That's Luis Gomez making the tackle, a senior, 5'8", 155-pounder for Deer Valley. Great open space tackle, just jackknifing Jack Finney. Oddly enough, the terms I was using there, jackknifing with Jack Finney. But, yeah, just cutting him off at the legs, not allowing him to gain as much momentum and steam as he did on that first play here of this drive that eventually got called back due to the holding penalty. And, Foothill does pick up some good yards. They pick up about 14, but it still leaves them 3rd and long.
With 3:17 remaining here in the third quarter, Kearns dropping back. Firing towards the right side. This one is caught and pushed out of bounds was his receiver as he connected with Ryan Anderson. So they shake off the penalty and get themselves close enough here, but it is now 4th down and 2 in your own territory.
4th and 2, and Coach Matt Sweeney says, hey, it's playoff time football. We've had some success. Why not? And he's going to go for it here with the ball down at his own 43-yard line.
And you think maybe this is where they call Gates' number. As they take the snap, and indeed they hand it off to Gates, fighting through, and when you've got him, why not do it? Griffith Gates with the first down run there, and really just such a big, imposing back, and when they need to lean on him for anywhere from that 3-yard gain plus, it seems like they can trust him in the clutch situation. He comes through there.
We had him for a player of the game interview last year, and he says he really relishes in that role of being the guy that, that can carry his team on his back. He doesn't mind if the teammates need to get on his back and have him run it out. He will do the job. He likes being the one that's called upon in them 4th down situations, and once again, gets the job done.
And on 1st and 10 here, taking the handoff, met by the defenders this time, but still turned out about 2.5 to 3 yards on the play with 2:25 remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, like I said, it's always positive with Griffith Gates. It's very rare, Joe, that you see a guy like Griffith Gates, well, that you see Griffith, not a guy like him, but that you see the actual Griffith Gates get tackled for a loss of negative yards. I've barely ever seen it. I think I've maybe seen it a handful of times. And like I said, I covered all their games last year, and I've covered about 3 or 4 games so far this year.
Set from 2nd and 7, Kearns dropping back. Good protection. He sets his feet and fires to Finney wide open over the middle again. Crossing the 35, and he's hit and brought down right at the 30-yard line.
The exact same pattern they went with on that huge play that was eventually called back. Just a tight end to cross route. He goes up about 3 yards and then cuts across the field. Once again, wide open in that level right between the defensive linemen and the linebackers there. And Finney picks up tremendous yardage and gets the ball all the way down to the Deer Valley 30.
So now Kearns set here, 1st and 10. From under center, taking the snap, he pitches it to Jameer Holland. Following his blockers, comes back inside and pushes up to the 26-yard line.
And see, right after that pass, you just get back to running that ball. And this is West Coast offense at its finest right here. You know, you have a pro set in there, and you run to set up the pass, Joe, and that's what they're doing. It's very successful so far tonight.
Set with the 2nd and 6 coming up on a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Kearns taking the snap, hands it off to Gates, hits a defender, pushes him forward, and gets across the 25-yard line.
Gates, he just loves contact, boy. I tell you, last year he had a chance to, you know, just keep beelining towards the end zone, but he stopped and ran towards the defender. Instead of going for the open space, he wanted to bowl over a defender. I mean, this is the type of guy he is. He just really enjoys contact, loves being the guy that just trucks people.
This could be the last play of the third quarter as they set up with 3rd and 5 from the 26-yard line. Kearns now from the shotgun. With an empty backfield, takes a low snap, throwing quickly out to the left side. Hudson, who's back in the game, makes a catch and loses his man, and is finally pulled down as he reaches forward inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Ray Hudson just completely shaking Mike Hamilton out of his jockstrap there on that catch. It was an arrow route to the outside. He was the receiver at the top of your screen. Made a nice catch coming back for the ball, and then put on a move on the defensive back, Mike Hamilton, for Deer Valley. Just shook him off and picked up some extra yards, got the ball inside the 10-yard line, and that's how the third quarter is going to end, with a very nifty pass from Kearns to his receiver, Ray Hudson. Folks, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Then tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports school broadcast program. A couple of schools have already taken up on that opportunity, such as Granite Bay, and they do some pretty good work to some of them students producing their own high school sports content. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP. And Joe, we're talking about Griffith Gates and, you know, how you've been impressed, I've been impressed. Colleges have been impressed somewhat too. He hasn't really received any official offers yet, such as his compadre Ray Hudson, who's going to Cal next year. But he does have a lot of interest from teams such as Brown and Harvard. He also has interest from Nevada and San Jose State. He even has interest from my old alma mater, Sacramento State. So it'd be kind of cool to see him follow in my footsteps, even though I didn't play ball at Sac State, but to become a Hornet. And a program in which Marshall Spurbeck really has in the right direction for an FBS school. They have knocked off the big boys, teams from the FCS, in consecutive years.
So now they're set with a 1st and goal from the 7-yard line to start the fourth quarter here. Trailing by 3 as they hand off to Griffith Gates. Working towards the left side. The Deer Valley defense able to wrap him up inside the 5-yard line.
Gates trying to plunge forward for some positive yards there. He does pick up about a yard or two. Gates already has 1 touchdown in this game. That was the short punch-in that gave Foothill, at the time, a 14-7 lead.
Now they're set 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Kearns set from under center, hands it off. Gates fighting again, brought down, but I think his knee was down before he was pretty well short of the goal line. And indeed, they spot him right around the 1-yard line.
Yeah, it's curious to see where they're actually going to spot this ball officially, because his knee touched down at about the 2, and it looks like that's where the refs are going to drop it. Yeah, his knee touched down at the 2, even though he stretched towards the goal line. Actually, okay, they're going to put it up at the 1-yard line, so they're going to give him the stretch there. So it's going to be 3rd and goal.
And just inside the 1-yard line is where they say he was stopped. Again, they give it to Gates, and this time he will walk in easily and give Foothill the lead.
The second score for Gates tonight, and this one puts Foothill back up on top. Once again, just a gaping hole for Gates to run through, this time along the near side, left side, bottom of your screen. And now the Foothill cheerleaders engaging the fans in a big "We Are Foothill" chant.
As Nico Carroll set to kick the extra point, make it a 4-point lead. Here's a snap. It is up, and he does indeed make it a 21-17 ball game with 10:50 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
All right, folks, with the boys in blue and gold up by 4, I'll give you another advertisement here. PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championships events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here.
And certainly has been an exciting second half here. We saw the interception to start it off, which Foothill was able to bring back and get the score, only to have the answer by Deer Valley. And now Foothill enjoying a 21-17 lead on the Griffith Gates touchdown.
Griffith Gates, an early candidate for our Play On Sports post-game player of the game, but like I said, it is very early. We are in the fourth quarter, but there's still just under 11 minutes left to play. Anything can happen.
As Nico Caro set to kick it away, they had a big return to open the second half when he did indeed kick it deep. So we'll see if he does indeed avoid Pooler and Webster back deep to return. And Carroll gets this one high in the direction of Zuzi Webster. Instead, it's picked up by one of the upmen. And coming across is Kedry. He's remaining here in the fourth quarter, and we just got audio back. Sorry about that. We'd lost signal for just a moment, but we're back here. 10 minutes remaining. Sturgis had a reception that brought it up to a 3rd and 1 here, and now Simba Webster set from under center with 4 wideouts. It's a quarterback keeper. He fights through a couple tacklers and gets a first down plus about 2 more yards.
The Lion King doing a good job of calling his own number there. Quarterback keeper starts up the middle and then veers off towards the left side of the field, picks up the first down yardage. Great call there by both the Deer Valley offense and great execution by the Lion King himself, Simba Webster.
And trailing 21-17 with 9:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Deer Valley brings it up the line, 1st and 10 from the Foothill 48-yard line. Taking the shotgun snap, Webster with time fires towards the left side. It's complete to Sturgis. Working down the sideline, he gets pushed out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Is still on his feet, actually.
Frank Sturgis with a nice catch, and then the yak, the yards after the catch there. Saul Sturgis with the deadly return in the first half, and then has been relatively silent since then. And now he makes the big play here, and huge chunk of yards, and now Deer Valley really in business, getting closer and closer towards knocking on the door. They're almost inside the red zone right now. They're at the Foothill 27-yard line.
Instead with the 1st and 10 here. Webster taking the snap and handing it off. It's McDonald fighting through the middle, and a gain of 3 on the play.
Good little pickup there by McDonald.
Clock moving towards 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Deer Valley trying to trim the lead here. Try to take a go-ahead score with a touchdown on this drive. 2nd down and 7, taking the snap. Webster firing over the middle. Ball tipped, incomplete. It was initially tipped by Langley, then through the hands of Pruitt, incomplete.
And a penalty on the play. It's going to be holding against Deer Valley, so not only do they get the incomplete pass, but to make matters worse, now a holding call will back them up a considerable amount of yards. Just to get you caught up on some scores here around the area in a game that's being played on PlayOn Sports, another one of our games. It's Drake leading 18-13 over Valley Christian in the fourth. That would be considered an upset if Drake were to go on and win that one. As far as a game that's kind of close to people in the Foothill area's mindset, a former East Bay Athletic League opponent, or actually still is an East Bay Athletic League opponent, Monte Vista trailing 39-15.
And on 2nd and 25, Webster feeling the pressure. He wrapped up on the leg and finally brought down. He stayed up for an extra second and got hit and ended up with about a yard loss on the play.
Perry Cheney with a devastating blow on Simba Webster there. Went up high and hit him in the shoulders. What a hit there by Cheney for a loss of even more yards. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 25 if you're Deer Valley. But as I was saying, it's kind of a matchup similar to this with an EBAL team and a DVAL team or a BVAL team going at it. Like I said, Pittsburgh leading 39-15 over Monte Vista with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter.
And now a 3rd and 25 from the 43-yard line of Foothill. Webster with time, now going to keep it himself and run. Jukes back inside, gets up to the 30-yard line, and certainly not enough here. So 4th down upcoming. Certainly you think that they're going to take this shot here and go for it.
Simba Webster really looking like Michael Vick on that play, just running up the field, calling his own number. And now it's going to be 4th and 15. You wonder what Deer Valley is going to call here. They do have a 4-receiver set with trips down to the bottom side of your screen. 1 receiver left alone at the top. And right now, Simba talking to his running back.
This clock moving under 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. A whistle comes in before the snap, and I think we have a delay of game. So they'll knock it back 5 more yards. Make it a 4th down and 20.
Another penalty for Deer Valley, just further putting them in a horrible position.
4th down shotgun snap for Webster. Looking deep downfield, nothing doing. Hit from behind him, brought down. A huge sack for the Foothill defense and the turnover on downs.
And Simba slow to get up.
And Griffith Gates was the man on the hit.
Yeah, Griffith Gates, along with number 50 for Foothill, that being Matt Louie. They really got some pretty good pressure on Simba Webster, who didn't even see it coming. He was trying to direct receivers downfield, looking for someone to throw to. And the defensive ends of Griffith Gates, the combination there of Griffith Gates and Louie going around Simba and hitting him from behind. And Simba really got whacked there, and Foothill Falcons forced the Deer Valley Wolverines into turning the ball over on downs.
On a 1st and 10 handoff, it's Griffith Gates. Plenty of yardage, a 1st down and a lot more as he crossed the 45 in Deer Valley territory.
And with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, you're starting to feel it now for Foothill. Griffith Gates, once again, I told you in that last drive, Joe, he loves being the guy that gets counted on to seal the deal in these games. And he just is going to, I'm sure he's pressing the issue right now. Continue to give me the rock, and I will do positive things for this team. Another powerful run there by the fullback. Picks up the 1st down and has his team in business now at the Deer Valley 44-yard line.
And Kearns from under center. Again, they give it to Gates, working towards the left side. Hit by one man, still on his feet as he drags a pile forward up to the 40-yard line. 4-yard gain on the play.
And what you're noticing with these runs is not only does he have the body to play at the next level, but you can just tell, you know, he has that heart and determination. The way he runs with that ball, he refuses to go down. And anytime you have that type of mentality, like I said, combined with the great body that he has for a high school student right now as a senior, he will definitely be playing ball at the next level. Now, he's not going to be playing fullback, oddly enough. Most colleges recruiting him for his defensive ability, but you got to think that they might throw him in maybe as a wrinkle for a fullback. I mean, he really runs the ball well and runs it with heart, passion, and pride.
On 2nd and 6, they hand it off again to Gates. This time, Deer Valley able to sniff it out and get him basically no gain on the play.
But see how you said basically, Joe? I mean, he's still a very tough runner. Hurdled a lineman there on the ground and might have picked up an inch or a yard there. I mean, Griffith Gates does not go down for negative yards, and he rarely goes down for no yards. I mean, this guy just always thinking forward, always positive yards. And you better believe he's looking at that clock now, which is almost down to 5 minutes, saying, we got this, boys. 4-point lead at the moment. Like I said, there's still 5 minutes left in this game, but he knows they can just keep giving him the rock. You better believe he's going to do everything he can to corral that ball and make sure it's not popped loose.
So with 3rd down and 6 now from the 40-yard line of Deer Valley. Kern set from under center. Again, they go to Gates, dragging defenders as he fights his way forward. He's up to the 35-yard line, but now they're set with a 4th down and 1.
Protecting that ball as if it was his baby. And Gates, once again, hard-nosed running up the middle. Same old story there. Picks up 5 yards. Now we'll make it a 4th and very short. And I don't know if there's a timeout that's been called. I don't believe so. Kern's done talking things over with head coach Sweeney there on the sidelines as the Falcons will go for it. Just over 4 minutes left to play in the game.
Kern set from under center, 4th down and 1. Big play here. They give it to Griffith Gates, fighting towards the left side, and it's all going to come down to the spot here. Very close.
Zuzi Webster saying that he did not get it, or at least signaling with his arms to the refs that Griffith Gates did not pick up the 1st down, and he's not the only Deer Valley Wolverine defender that's making that notion with their arms.
And referees separating everybody, and I believe we're going to have a measurement here. A very crucial decision.
Once again, the cheerleaders ramping it up, trying to get their fans engaged here and making some noise.
Clock stopped for the moment for the measurement with 3:56 remaining in this ball game. Foothill has 2 timeouts remaining. Deer Valley has all of their timeouts. Coming down to this measurement. And it is just short a turnover on downs.
Huge stop there for the Deer Valley defense, and they'll have the ball in some pretty good position with a lot of clock. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left. They'll have the ball at their own 34-yard line. And
so now Deer Valley, trailing by 4, has a 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Simba Webster, 3 receivers at the top of the formation, 1 to the bottom. And the game on the line for this drive. They hand it off to Fuller, working through the middle, pushing through defenders, and he gets up to the 40-yard line. 6-yard gain on the play.
So now Deer Valley trying to emulate Foothill a little bit, use their run game to their advantage. This time it's Shane Pooler picking up 5 yards on the run. Some personnel being switched out here for Deer Valley.
The referee has stopped the clock now. They get it rolling again. Clock moving under 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the ball game. 2nd down and 5 from their own 40-yard line. Again, a 4 wide out set for Webster. Taking the snap, dropping back, hit as he throws, looking deep down the middle and overthrows Pruitt, his intended receiver.
And once again, Webster very slow to get up. He was hit hard as he threw that ball intended for Pruitt.
And Webster taking an extra second here. And Webster may be leaving the ball game.
And if Simba leaves the ball game, there's only been one other guy that has attempted a pass for Deer Valley's offense this season. That being Matt McLean, a tight end.
But you're not going to see it here. Webster, though he did look to be in considerable pain, walked to the sideline, got the call, and came back in.
He's a tough kid.
Referee's still concerned. They're trying to keep an eye on things here. Of course, you have the concussion rules, where a referee can make decisions like that. Here they let Webster stay in the ball game. 3:10 remaining here with a 3rd down and 5. From his own 40-yard line, Webster rolling to his left. Sets his feet, throws to the left side, and it is intercepted by Langley. Coming back the other way, he works towards the middle of the field, gets a block. Getting across the 35 and finally pulled down from behind. And a little bit of extracurricular activity broken up quickly.
Yeah, you'd hate to see things escalate like they did last week for Deer Valley against Heritage with a fight after an interception, oddly enough, taking 2 of their top players away from tonight's game. But the refs do a good job of stopping things. But what an interception there by Isaiah Langley, stepping in front of that pass, picking it off, giving the ball back to his Foothill Falcons with just under 3 minutes left to play, deep within Deer Valley territory inside their 30-yard line. Falcons already up by 4, and they're looking to push for more and extend the score.
They hand it off to Gates, works towards the left side, and a gain of 3 on the play.
And then now it's back to, what we've been seeing all throughout the night for Foothill, giving it to Gates. Foothill in their traditional jerseys, very plain, but they get the job done. They're like their jerseys reminiscent of what Penn State's jerseys used to look like. Now Penn State has put names on their jerseys, but, just a solid jerseys with just a solid color numbers, nothing on the helmet.
So the 2nd down and 7, they pitch it over to Holland on the left side. Deer Valley sniffed it out and got the stop. 2:09 remains, clock still ticking down, and a timeout is burned by Deer Valley. Their first timeout as they trail 21-17 with 2:06 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
All right, folks, PlayOn Sports is hip to the social media game. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Yeah, that's right. Any way you want to follow us, you can. We'll give you news, information, and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter, and you can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
So now a 3rd down and 9 upcoming here. 2:06 remains on the clock. And Deer Valley still has 2 timeouts remaining, so 2 more stops is all it takes for them to get the ball back in this situation. And still have time left on the clock.
One thing interesting to note with this game being played tonight for Deer Valley, they have played 11 games straight. They did not have a bye week in their regular season this year. And so you got to wonder if maybe, losing 3 straight coming into this game, if they've run out of gas.
Kern's going to be set from under center here. Takes a snap. They pitch it on misdirection to Jameer Holland, working towards the left side, fighting up ahead. He gets spotted just shy of the 20-yard line.
Once again, Jameer Holland doing a great job of just letting the blocking work its way out in front of him. Very patient run there by Jameer Holland.
And surprisingly, Deer Valley does not take a timeout here. Clock's still ticking down on 4th down and 4 here. So Foothill going to do everything they can in this situation to drain that clock before they get up to the line here. 4th and 4 from the 20-yard line of Deer Valley.
And it's actually pretty smart, Joe, because if you get the stop here, at least you still have 2 timeouts for your offense.
And a whistle comes in, timeout taken by Foothill, so they did exactly what they needed to do, run that clock all the way down, then burn a timeout before they get this play in. So everything going to be hinging on this next play.
Like I said, we're up here with the coaches. Normally we're not. And assistant coach Mike Arvalo, he looks like he's sweating it out right now for Deer Valley, hoping his team could get the stop and then drive downfield and get the game-winning score.
And certainly a lot riding on this play. Deer Valley season on the line.
Deer Valley only 2-8 all time in the playoffs. Would hate to go down to 2-9. Sorry about that.
So a minute 15 remains on the clock here.
Meanwhile, for Foothill, last year was the first year in 18 years in which they didn't make the playoffs. They had an 18-year streak of making the NCS playoffs. Did not make it last year. And they really have been dying to get back in and make something out of it.
So on fourth down, dropping back, Kearns looking over the middle, pass is thrown. It's caught by Finney, in for the score. Foothill will advance.
Never say die, though. I mean, you got to think Deer Valley, they've had some great returns tonight. If they can get another big return, onside kick, get the ball back, then they might be in business. But this looks to be the game-sealing play right here. Yeah, just a post route to Jack Finney, who, despite being covered pretty well by Deer Valley, shows great concentration to make the catch and then get past the would-be tackler.
As Caro hit the extra point, a flag came in on the play. Let's see what the call is. And a personal foul there on the end of the play against Deer Valley.
Some frustration getting the best of Deer Valley there on that extra point try. And so now Foothill can really get into a kick here and boom it for a touchback, as they'll have some extra yards to work with on the kick. Foothill, at the moment, looks to be moving on to the second round to play a league rival in the California Grizzlies, who are 8-2 on the year. You talk about Deer Valley, or you talk about California and Foothill playing each other earlier on in the season. And California really gave it to Foothill 36-7. And so, just as Pittsburgh is doing to Foothill's other league opponent, the Monte Vista Mustangs, avenging a big-time loss, as Pittsburgh gets the win and will move on to this second round to play De La Salle. Hopefully, Foothill can do the same next week against Cal, avenge their regular season loss and get a big-time win. But that's hypothetically thinking. Deer Valley still has a chance to make this one a real wild ending.
Carroll lets this one go all the way into the end zone. A nice boot there on the short field. And the touchback sets him from the 20-yard line.
And this drive is going to all depend on the health of Simba Webster. Has he been hit hard enough to where he won't have the same kind of ball that he's had earlier in the game? Earlier in the game, really threw a good ball, accurate ball. But he has really been pounded in this second half by the Foothill Falcons defense. Most notably, Griffith Gates has really gotten into him a couple times. They have forced the quarterback into throwing 2 interceptions.
Now they get set 1st and 10 from their own 20. 1:09 remains. 2 timeouts left for Deer Valley here. Taking the shotgun snap, Webster under pressure, rolling away from it. Flag comes in on the play. Gets away from 2 tacklers. Webster still on his feet and finally brought down near the line of scrimmage. Think it'd be a hold judging by where the flag was thrown. And indeed it is.
Simba Webster. This being only the second game this year where he has thrown 2 interceptions. He threw 2 interceptions last week in a losing effort against Heritage. His chances of moving on in this 2012 North Coast Section Division I football tournament dwindling with every play taken off and every second taken off.
As Webster's set here. It's a first down and 23, taking the shotgun snap. Under pressure, he steps up, fires a high, deep ball. This one is caught by Pruitt, and Pruitt across the 35-yard line. And he's brought down. Clock stopped with the moving of the chains. 35 seconds remaining now.
And we'll see if Deer Valley is going to take a timeout or just spike the ball.
And they take the timeout there.
Stopping the clock with 32.1 seconds left. What a game we've seen tonight, folks. Stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com post-game show, where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this fantastic Division I first-round matchup between the Deer Valley Wolverines and the Foothill Falcons. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
32 seconds remaining here on Deer Valley's season, unless a miracle happens.
Deer Valley in danger, as I mentioned, of falling to 2-9 overall in their North Coast section playoff history. And with a loss tonight, they would be 0-4 in the playoffs against East Bay Athletic League teams.
Webster set the shotgun with 5 wide receivers. Dropping back, quickly firing over the middle off his back foot. He's able to complete it. And to Guidry, and Guidry working to get out of bounds. Finally does, but a lot of time comes off the clock there. Clock stopped with 23.1 seconds remaining.
Great awareness there by James Guidry and just raw athletic ability to make the catch and then fight and try to skirmish his way towards the sidelines to get, granted, it did take a lot of time off, as you mentioned, Joe, in doing that, but at least he got out of bounds to stop the clock. Deer Valley doesn't have to call a timeout just yet, their last one.
So first down and 10 from the 49-yard line of Foothill. Quickly Webster throws to the right side. It's complete to his brother Webster, and he pushes up ahead for the first down and more. Finally going down was Zuzi Webster right around the 35-yard line.
And now Deer Valley going to have to take their last timeout with 11.9 seconds left. Simba to Zuzi this time. Simba really trying to mount this comeback scoring drive. But it's going to be too little too late at this point, because even if they get a score, it's going to be really hard to get an onside kick and another score. Like I said, only 11.9 seconds left. That is darn near impossible.
So we wait here for the timeout to end. Foothill crowd anxiously awaiting so they can celebrate what appears to be a victory here in the first round.
The city of Pleasanton will also host a playoff game tomorrow with the Amador Valley Dons. Huge win last week in the Battle of Pleasanton to go up above 500 and get the 5th seed in the playoffs. They will host the Castro Valley Trojans tomorrow night.
Setting the shotgun is Webster. Dropping back, firing over the middle. This one is through the hands of his brother Zuzi Webster. Incomplete. Clock stopped with 7 seconds remaining. It's only 1 or 2 more plays really left here.
Matt Sweeney in his 25th year of coaching. Every year, the goal of the team is to make it to NCS. They did so this year.
Dropping back now. Webster feeling pressure, steps up, airs it out deep, looking towards the end zone. It's up for grabs. Out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Game over. Foothill will advance to face California in round 2.
And so the winner has been decided. It's the Foothill Falcons getting the win at home, 28-17.
And ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to stay tuned to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. We'll wrap up the action, and we'll have an interview with our player of the game. That's coming up in just a few moments. Once again, the Foothill Falcons have defeated the Deer Valley Wolverines by a score 28-17 on Friday Night Football on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
welcome back, PlayOnSports.com. We're here with our player of the game, Griffith Gates. And Griffith, an exciting game, really, just seemed like it comes down the wire. You guys able to pull it out. What do you think was a big factor for you guys in this ball game?
Practice. It definitely had to be the way that we came out in practice this week compared to Amador week. I mean, I know me and a few guys stayed after practice, and usually after Amador week he has us stop running. But me and a few guys ended up staying after practice and running. I mean, it's just the determination to have a good practice. I mean, definitely the freshmen that got pulled up, the JV kids, they all came out and they started they whooped on us in our first practice. And it really helps to have a bunch of fresh legs come in and really want to prove something. And so you got to defend your spot.
And it certainly seemed like you were able to carry defenders, seemed like on every single play. And, it seems like a situation where you're confident in carrying the ball late in the ball games. Is that your favorite part of the game?
I love being able to play in any part of the game. I mean, definitely I know that I get the ball in a 4th and short, 3rd and short area, and I love it. I mean, I always know I look at the yard line, I say, all right, I need to get 2 yards farther, and I make sure that there's nothing else in my mind except for those 2 extra yards just to make sure.
And, of course, your quarterback, Kearns, had some big completions down there. How important was he for your team tonight?
He stepped up so much. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with him after throwing 5 picks against Amador. I mean, he could have easily just sat down, especially even the second half of Amador where he came back, didn't throw a single pick till the very end. I mean, the confidence he was able to regain and come out with tonight, it was just amazing, and it helped our team so much.
So you look forward to California. I mean, what do you know about these guys? What do you guys really anticipate going to that game? When
we lost to them in the year, all we wanted to say is, we want another shot at these guys because we came out and we did not play against them. And, I mean, it was embarrassing. It was our homecoming, and, I mean, that's just not the team we are, and we want to bring it to them, and we want to win. We haven't beat them in 4 years, so.
Yeah, you'll certainly get the opportunity. Griffith Gates and the Foothill Falcons will get their shot against California. That's going to be next weekend. We'll be back with more of our post-game show here on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
And welcome back on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Joe Lawhiff along with Michael Smith. And, we saw a great matchup here in the playoffs between these two teams. Really just a back-and-forth battle, but Foothill just had enough to come out there in that 28-7 victory. What did you see, Mike?
Well, you saw the running of Griffith Gates, always falling forward. As I was mentioning throughout the broadcast, he was an easy candidate for our player of the game, really converted on them 4th downs, picked up the necessary yardage when the team needed it the most, punched in, got a score, and also played great defense. Really, I think the key was wrapping up that, hitting Simba so hard to the fact where in the second half he was rendered pretty much useless through 2 interceptions, really didn't play to the type of level that Simba Webster played in the first half for Deer Valley. And as far as Kyle Kearns, I was really impressed with the sophomore quarterback, especially after what I saw last week against the crosstown rivals, the Amador Valley Dons, throwing 5 interceptions for a sophomore. Like I said, that can really derail a kid's attitude and kind of sense of football. Maybe a lot of kids would ask themselves, do I even belong at this moment playing, being the varsity starting quarterback? And you know what? He threw that out of his mind, got that out of his mind, and really played a great game tonight. Looked for what was there, didn't force anything, no interceptions tonight, and, had a couple key passes to his tight end, Jack Finney, and we saw one for a touchdown and a bunch of others that picked up huge yards. So I was really impressed with Kyle Kearns tonight, as well as Griffith Gates, as well as Jameer Holland running the ball well. Ray Hudson, I didn't feel did all too great, but did make some good catches. Once again, that defense solid. And Trevor Mays now 2 interceptions in 2 games for the Foothill Falcons, and you really hope that Foothill can revenge the loss that they suffered on homecoming. It was a night in which they had their new scoreboard and everything, and so they're gonna, those are the kind of games that you always hold in your memory bank and hope to get to see again, and to get to go up against a league opponent. Like Griffith Gates said, they haven't beat them in 4 years. They're really chomping at the bit to play California. It's going to be a very tough contest. California led by a great running back in Karis Johnson, and but I think what Foothill needed was a win. Coach Matt Sweeney said this was the most talented team he's ever had in his 25 years. He said that prior to the season started. Now they got into the playoffs. They get a very emotional first win, a win in which was close in the first half, and then they kind of really showed their true colors and steamrolled in the second. And now we'll see what they do in San Ramon next week. And as for the Deer Valley Wolverines, you know what? Great season for you guys. Congratulations on making it to the playoffs. And then Simba and Zuzi, I saw Zuzi crying down there on the field, and I went up to him and said, "Don't worry, you and your brother will be back." And I mean, they always. It seems like Coach Rich Woods really has that program going in the right direction. They have a lot of underclassmen. Of course, there are some seniors at the talented athletic positions, such as the receivers that are going to be leaving. But they should be back in the fold next year, especially as far as winning league or being the top dog in the league and then getting into the NCS playoffs. So congratulations once again to the Deer Valley Wolverines for making it to North Coast. But a bigger congratulations to the Foothill Falcons for getting the first round win tonight and moving on to the second round of the 2012 North Coast Section Division I football bracket.
Yeah, definitely congratulations to both teams for making this far, and of course for Foothill advancing. That's going to do it for us here on PlayOnSports.com. For our producer Wilma Combs, our camera operator Vincent Huergas, and my partner Michael Smith, this is Joe Lahiv signing off on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.